We be live.
Hello.
Hi everyone. Guys, make sure you like the stream. I'm serious. I'm not joking around. I've been trying different tactics. Okay, I'm not playing games anymore. You have to like the show. Okay, there's no way around. If you're not gonna like the show, just go. Oh, let me turn this off. Yes. Please like the show, or else this is haram. This show is haram upon you. Haram for you. It's haram for you. Yes. To make the show
We don't play
halal, you
games
have
with
to
that.
like. We don't. Yeah. I would say other things, but YouTube does not like that. I do see other content creators, big content creators, threatening their audience, but we don't do that here because we like to stay. So, but just do it, just like yeah. And also, if you want to do, yeah,
I don't like it when you do that.
no, okay. I'm not gonna threaten you, but like the show, and also also after the show, please make sure you leave a comment. Okay, we're gonna be spending at least 2 hours here for you guys, covering news items, interesting news items about religion and atheism from all around the world, stuff that you probably haven't seen, stuff that doesn't get discussed, stuff that we put our own spin to it, and that's what you come here for. You don't come here just for the news. You come here because of our commentary. That's right. Yeah, you like how we analyze the show. You like our honesty. You like the fun that we have here. You like that it's like we talk to you guys in the live chat and we highlight your comments and we react to your comments, right? And you like our perspective on things, and that deserves a like. I think that deserves a like. And also another thing that deserves a like is the fact that this is the most global atheist, and just religion as a whole. Religion relates a whole.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. And not just our news, but also our audience. Like, for example, see, like Shikha is saying hello from India. Yeah, guys, and make sure you tell us where you're watching from, because I've heard some people don't believe me. People are like, nah, Armin is just making stuff up. When he says this is a global, very global focused channel, that it's not Western or Middle Eastern or Far East centric or European centric, they're like, nah, he's just making stuff up. And then people come in the live chat and they say, I'm watching from India, and somebody says, I'm watching from Lucifer is saying, I'm watching from Malaysia, and then young atheist is saying hi from Pakistan. People are like, oh, okay, yes, I was wrong. I judged too early. I think Armin was pretending, but then people in the live chat, they kept on saying hi from different places, and I realized, like,
Yeah, it is global. We're putting the top G in global.
right. So yeah, please guys, keep telling us where you're watching from for all those haters, right? And Susie, what countries are we covering today?
Oh, these freaking haters. I don't know why you're making me giggle so much today. We are covering stories in India, Saudi, Iran. Man, we got 3 stories in India. Another story in France and Denmark, also Pakistan and Sweden, as well as a fascinating AI story, which has global implications. So, Armin, you are going to be really into this AI story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would be. Can you tap your mic? I want to just see if you like. Oh yeah, you connected. You just have echo because of your room. It's fine. Can you open that door behind you to reduce the echo? Is that possible? Is that a thing we could do?
I don't want to wake up my partner.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Muhammad is watching from the UK. I think this is supposed to be Shaitan. Yeah. No. Sayantan. No, it's watching from India.
The dyslexia, the Freudian slip.
Oh, well, we are actually having somebody watching from Tabriz, which is in Iran. Yes. What is GY? GY, what country is GY? Because I don't see the flag.
Is it Guyana? Yeah, I was about to say it's Guyana.
Because I think this is supposed to be a flag. Wait. Country code.
Armin, it's Guyana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. Well, that's amazing. Thank you. I don't. I think this is the first time we have somebody watching from Guyana. Isn't? Is this not the first time?
I think
This
you're
is the first
right.
time. This is the first time we have we just became more global. Thank you so much, Kevin, for making us even more global than we used to be because of your presence here. Thank you. Shruti from India, and yeah, somebody else is confirming this Guyana. Okay, great, great. Okay. Oh, from Sweden. That's great. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna
Armin,
stop highlight.
expert per saying Armin is an ishk.
No. No.
Cute.
Okay, guys, I could do this. I could do this. I could do this for the rest of the show. The 2 hours. We just watch people telling us watching from Julia from New York, Fair from Spain. But I will keep telling us where you're watching from other people in the live chat could see that. But we need to get to the news, right,
Yes.
Susie?
Wait,
And the is the yeah.
but Kevin in Guyana is saying that he loved you from the Atheist Experience show. That's what brought him over
Aw.
here. Kevin, welcome to our side of
Aw,
things.
thank you. Oh, that's
And
amazing.
guys, if you have not seen Armin's appearances on the Atheist Experience, go to the Atheist Experience on YouTube, and he is, I think, the as of you did it just last week, so the most recent episode would be with Armin and Forrest
Mm.
Valkai, and it was really good. I think you and Forrest are like the perfect pair for the show. You did a
Yeah.
really good
Okay.
job, and you have such a good match of like energies and also analysis. You know what I'm saying?
I look up so much to Forrest that I was
Oh,
nervous on the yeah, I was nervous on the show. I was like, I hope I don't embarrass myself and stuff. Forrest, I need to perform today because Forrest is watching me. So,
senpai.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Um. Okay. Oh, yours. It's you're saying your friend is fun. X is saying you're fun. Yeah. All right, guys.
Oh,
We
Naziman.
need to start. We need to start the news. Is the
Yes.
first news clappable? Fun, guys. Just for people who are new here, okay. If we clap, it doesn't mean we approve. Okay, we just clap for transition. However, if somebody is died, or if somebody was tortured, or if somebody was molested, then we do not clap. We do not clap. Okay, but for other news we clap, but not necessarily because it's a good news. It's just because it's a transition. Okay. So is the first news clappable?
I love
You
that we have
said
to
you hate.
explain this like for the new people. Yes, we can
By the
clap for
way,
this news. This is wonderful news.
okay, you don't like the Mandy clap that I used to do. You're like we're
You
going back to
Yeah, I want to feminize
the.
you.
Yeah, you understand? Okay, great. Thanks. All right, I will. I will not do that, but it will be okay.
You can do
All
that.
right.
You can do that all you want,
No, no,
King.
it's fine. It's fine. Is this ex-Muslim that fit, or is that just like how he sees himself?
Okay,
But anyways,
we'll get into that in a second,
okay,
okay?
okay, we'll get it. Okay, okay. All right. First news.
First news, the explosive rise of ex-Muslims in India. The digital age has catalyzed a surging phenomenon of ex-Muslims, particularly in India, where Muslims constitute a significant minority. Thanks to the internet, many are breaking away from traditional religious views, sharing their experiences, and connecting with others who share similar sentiments, all while safeguarding their identities. Initially more prominent in Western nations, where groups such as Faith Freedom International and the Council of Ex Muslims in Britain emerged, the rise of platforms like YouTube has amplified the voices of the Indian ex Muslims who discuss religious topics and engage in debates. In India, many ex Muslims, such as Kerala based E.A. Jabbar, and social media personalities like ex Muslim Sahil, Samir, Azad Ground, Zafar Heretic, Sachwala, and Faiz Alam, continue to gain prominence. Despite Muslim leaders downplaying the significance of this movement, its growth is undeniable, with prominent figures like Mariam Namazi likening the internet's impact on Islam to how the printing press revolutionized Christianity. However, with this increasing visibility comes the threats of stigmatization, or even violence, leading many ex Muslims to maintain their anonymity, especially in regions with deeply rooted religious sentiments. So, this is exciting. Recently, India, was it India Today? Let me double check quickly. I want to make sure I get this right. Yes, India Today, which is a giant publication in India, obviously, had a very lengthy profile examining the rise of ex-Muslims in India. And that made me super excited because one, I love when ex-Muslims are like profiled in media, especially a news source as large and as prominent as India Today. And also because I have a soft spot in my heart for Indian ex Muslims. I'm not going to lie. South Asian ex Muslims have a soft spot in my heart. And it was really, I really loved this full write up because it examined a lot of specific personalities that I hadn't heard of before, obviously because I'm only English speaking. And yeah, I listed off some of their names earlier. And what I found really interesting, Armin, is in this article, they tied the rise of ex Muslims in India to about 2020. And it's been YouTube, according to this report, that has been driving so much of the growth of this movement. And I thought that was really interesting because when we've seen ex Muslim movements in the West, so to speak, it didn't really start off with YouTube. Like YouTube came later. Um, but what do you think about this?
Well, I mean, this is great. Do we know how many of these ex-Muslims mm, are using the right tactics when it comes to, like, because I've seen a lot of them do a really good job. Like they're they know their Islam, they know the details, and they come and they create great content, and that they're such an asset. Some of them seem to be attacking Muslims more than they attack Islam, and seem to be, you know what I mean? So we have to be careful with that as well, because there's a lot of demand for that in India. So when we are supporting ex-Muslims in India, we have to make sure that because there's a very high demand in India for people who are anti-Muslim
Mhm.
bigots. It's very tempting for ex-Muslim creators to lean into that. So we have to celebrate the ones who are not leaning into that, to make sure to, I mean, and I encourage other people to celebrate the ex-Muslims that are not leaning into anti-Muslim bigotry, because there's already a lot of demand for anti-Muslim bigotry. And I think like a lot of anti-Muslim bigots in India gave up on many ex-Muslims outside of India, because at
Yeah.
first they were very, very popular. Like a lot of Hindutva YouTube consumers were cheering on people like Apostate Prophet, like Harris Sultan, like Abdullah Samir. And then they realized, I'm so proud of all of them, because even though they could have built a massive audience on writing on this anti-Muslim bigotry wave, they decided, like, no, you know they decided to lean into to create content exposing Hinduism as well, and also a lot of anti-Muslim bigotry in India as well. And a lot of these anti-Muslim bigots in India were disappointed. They feel like betrayed. But this shows that a lot of these ex-Muslims content creators they had a moral compass. Like, even though they could have easily attract a major following by just giving these viewers what they wanted, they decided not to do that, because they like, you know what, we're against this. So a lot of these people in India, who are, again, not all Indians, okay, but let's be honest, in India there's a huge demand for this. Now they're turning inwards into their own Indian content creators for something like this. So I hope these ex-Muslims, most of them at least, are also not going to give in to that. and we have to find the ones that are not giving into that and like highlight them and promote them, because we need that. We need Indian content creators that are focusing on Islam and embarrassing Islam and trying to, and but we also need, by the way, guys, Atheist Republic is also interested in making content from content creators in India that are focusing on Hinduism, right? Because as much as we have content out there on YouTube that is highlighting how uh, bizarre, weird, and disgusting Islam is, we don't have that much YouTube content. I mean, we have created live streams that embarrasses Hinduism and shows how disgusting Hindu scripture is, but we need more people with that background from India, people that are ex-Hindu, to come and help us create those videos, right? And if you want, because we already have made a platform, you could come join our team. Link is in the description to come join our team as a volunteer. And in exchange, if you have your own YouTube channel or if your own blog or whatever you're doing, and you could help us make short videos that shows like how weird and disgusting the Manusmriti is, or the Vedas or the Gita, how disgusting these scripture are. If you could come and help us, and how stupid they are, and how unscientific they are, and how bigoted they are, and how anti-woman they are, if you make short videos regarding this, you could also put your ad at the end of these videos, and we could tell you, like, you could say, like, we could come up with a way to make this work out. Like, maybe I will talk to Susanna about this on other ways that we could make this work out as well for you guys as well. But we need people to come and use the Atheist Republic YouTube channel on making short videos on exposing, Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity, 8-minute videos. So use the volunteer link in the description and join our team so that we could do this together. Yeah.
Well, to answer your question, the article that I was mentioning actually does talk about how a bunch of Indian ex-Muslims are very concerned about the direction that India is heading in. So, for example, there's a huge push right now to institute a uniform civil code. And I am someone who thinks India would, in general, benefit very greatly from a uniform civil code. For those who are not familiar, I'm not going to explain the whole thing because it's quite complicated, especially if you're not have no familiarity with personal law in India. But long story short, they were talking about how they really want a uniform civil code, especially because it's a matter of gender justice for Muslim women. Because under personal law, Muslim women are not afforded the same rights and legal recourse as other women in India. And so that's a huge concern, right? However, they were saying, okay, but the UCC as presented now is not actually for the betterment of Muslim women. It's not actually for the betterment of these groups. And they're, at least I can't remember who they were interviewing for about this topic. I think it was maybe E.A. Jabbar, basically calling out, like, this is not actually about improving these people's quality of life and the legal rights afforded to them. This is more about Hinduism dominance.
Oh, really? These ex-Muslims, this is what these ex-Muslim channels are exposing.
Yeah, there was at least one person, and I believe it was E.A. Jabbar. He's more of a speaker and rationalist than a YouTuber, I believe, but talking about their concerns and criticisms. So there are a lot of these figures who do call out this stuff. And by the way, guys, if you're watching right now and you have an Indian ex-Muslim creator that you really love, that you want to promote, like, put them in the live chat and we should give them a shout out, because I think that this movement deserves a lot more attention than it gets. And partially it doesn't get as much attention because there's a language barrier, right? Most of them are not doing content in English. Muhammad Tariq. Oh, Shami. Hi, Shami. He's saying, I wonder if this rise can be beneficial for neighboring Pakistan and can influence secular growth there. Do you think that's a possibility, Armin?
Yes, yes. I mean, a lot of people in Pakistan. I mean, a lot of these content creators are speaking in Urdu, aren't they?
Some of them. Some of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic. A lot of that makes it accessible.
That
That's a
actually
good point.
reminds me is that in this article, there was a lengthy profile of our friend Har Sultan.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah. When they were talking about the rise of ex-Muslims in India, there was like a section dedicated to like Pakistan as well. And they did a profile on Horace. I was like, I know him. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and
wait.
go ahead.
Wait, can I answer this question?
Mhm.
Logical Londa is saying, Armin, how do you distinguish between Islam and the people who defend the bigotry Islam teaches? Okay, Islam is ideology. People are the people, the Muslims are the people who believe it. But if your question is, how do I distinguish between Islam and the bigotry Islam teaches? That's the same thing. Islam and the bigotry Islam teaches are the same thing. Okay, because Islam is a bigoted religion. Every religion is a bigoted religion, to be like, I mean, at least most of them. But yeah, one of them is the person who believes it, one of them is the ideology. That's easy, easy. But yeah,
Um,
you start some comments that you wanted to read.
yeah, some people were talking about other creators that they really like. Eric is saying, do add the Cod Nastic slash Salim from Maharashtra. That guy's legit. Oh, he's shared a platform with Haris, Nuria, and Ghalib Kamal. Amazing. And also, oh yes, of course, ex-Muslims of Kerala, Arif Hussein Theravath. I did an interview with him last year that was really fun. He does really good work down in South India. Zafar Heretic is an amazing man. And oh, also Queer Indian Atheist. Queer Indian Atheist, I believe, does more Hinduism related content. So, guys, make sure to go
Yes.
check out these creators, go support them, because again, it's important. Here at Atheist Republic, we are all about building international relationships and a global secular movement. Okay. These values do not have borders. And as such, we need to support each other across the world. Okay. So, go check them out.
Yeah, and also, guys, between the news, we will read super chats or member highlights. For example, like this one, Selva just celebrated his 20-month membership to say he was late to the stream. Yeah, so guys, you could use your membership celebration to message us. You could use super chats, and if you also anybody who becomes a member, we will highlight that as well, and we will welcome you to the membership. Yeah. So yeah. So also, when you do give us super chats, we won't read it right away. We will read it between each news item, just in case you were wondering why we're not reading it right away. All
Yeah.
right.
I
So
I
yeah.
really I love doing the super chats because it's a fun opportunity to like get everyone else's perspective on these things. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. So can we clap for the next news? Ooh, this one. So this is death related. So I'm not gonna clap for this one.
No one died yet.
No one died yet. Okay, so next time we will might not clap when we cover this news, but for now we will clap. Uh, Next news.
Next news, a Saudi man sentenced to death for tweets criticizing nation's leaders. This is crazy. In a move that underscores the tightening grip on freedom of expression in Saudi Arabia, a 54-year-old Mohammed Al Ghamdi, a retired teacher, was sentenced to death simply for tweets critical of the nation's leaders. Using the platform X, previously known as Twitter, Mohammed discreetly voiced his dissent, mostly by retweeting critiques of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Yet, with just 10 followers between his two anonymous Twitter accounts, the global rights human community, the global human rights community is in uproar, deeming this an audacious travesty of justice. As executions in the kingdom surge, a darker narrative emerges. Muhammad's severe sentence might also be a retaliation against his brother's overseas activism. A stark reminder that in today's Saudi Arabia, even a tweet can be deadly. So, Armin, this is a huge story that happened over the past week. And I think, I mean, this is just overall just flat out shocking. Do you want me to provide any more details before we dive in?
I mean, just a reminder, the guy I think had how many followers on
He
Twitter?
had two anonymous Twitter accounts. Between the two accounts, there were 10 followers.
Oh, together on the two accounts, he had 10 followers.
Yes.
Okay. We're not talking about 10,000 followers. Okay. We're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 followers on two accounts. Together, he had 10 followers. And for the tweets on one of these two accounts, this guy is sentenced to death. Amazing. Amazing. Just a reminder for people who forgot how evil Saudi Arabia is just because they allow concerts now, and how women can drive, and so people can drink alcohol and stuff. So, and they have Halloween, apparently. Halloween. So yeah, people think like, yeah, this is great, everything is amazing in Saudi Arabia. No, they will execute you for tweets in Saudi Arabia. This is why we have to remind everybody that the freedoms that we want, the main freedoms that we want. So we have three kinds of freedoms, right? We have economic freedom, we have social freedoms, and we have political freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And with that political freedom, even if you have economic freedom and social freedom, you don't actually have economic freedom and social freedoms, right? So social freedoms are the kinds of freedoms that grab the most attention because they're media related, they're fun related, they're your freedom to wear what you want, to dance, to sing, to party, to drink alcohol, and they get the most attention, right? But these kinds of freedom are a house built upon sand if you don't have the political freedom, because without the political freedom, all other freedoms are not actual freedoms, they're gifts that are coming from the top. You want to have your rights and freedom because the people have the power to take it from their leaders, not because of the leaders who have decided to gift it upon you, because the gift that kind of freedom and that kind of right that is gifted from the top, it could be taken away from the top. It's not really yours. The freedom and rights that is really yours is the one that you have taken by force, because the political power of the people is stronger than the political power of their leaders. So you have to gain and this demonstrates that even in Saudi Arabia, even if we now have social freedoms, we don't have the main freedom, which is the political freedom. And among all political freedoms, the main political freedom that all other political freedoms is built upon is the freedom of speech, right? So think about it like this: the hierarchy, right? So you have freedom of speech, which with the freedom of speech you gain all other political freedoms, and with your political freedoms you gain all other rights and freedoms on top of that. And you don't have that in Saudi Arabia, so you don't really have any freedom. It's when you don't have the freedom of speech, if you think you're free to go to watch a concert or to drink alcohol or to drive a car, it's more like a somebody who has kidnapped somebody who's been kidnapped or lives in a prison, and before they had like the cafeteria, now has more food choices. You're still in prison, you're still a hostage, but now you have more food options to eat while you're in prison. You're not really free. It's fake freedom. So just understand that's what we're fighting for. But
Mm-hmm.
also, so
Mm-hmm.
this guy's the crime that they're using to sentence this guy to death, that they're alleging that this guy is responsible for, is because of him criticizing the leaders, but also some religion related views that he had on his Twitter, right? Like, what were those? Like,
So, my understanding is that his brother who lives overseas is some sort of Islamic cleric in exile. I don't know
that's
exactly. Go ahead.
no, that's a real reason, okay? But the fake reasons are two fake reasons. The fake reasons are his tweets, one for criticism of the leaders, two from him saying things that are questioning Islamic views, right? Those are the fake reasons. But that's that given that he only has 10 followers combined on his 2 Twitter accounts, that's not the real reason why they're arresting him. They're punishing his brother, right?
Yeah.
It seems like it. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I can read out his charges. So his conviction is okay under Article 30 of Saudi Arabia's counterterrorism law for quote describing the king or the crown prince in a way that undermines religion or justice. Article 34 for quote supporting a terrorist ideology, and Article 43 for communications with a terrorist entity, and Article 44 for publishing fake news with the intention of executing a terrorist crime.
Okay. By the way, I just noticed that we weren't. Newman mentioned that we weren't live on Twitch. I just made it so that we're live on Twitch as well. Thank you so much, Newman, for letting me know.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I did a
Okay.
whoopsie.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Okay. Yeah. So, by the way, if this is true, if they're going after this guy to punish his brother, just imagine how evil the Saudi regime is. The fact that this guy is being punished as a way to punish the brother, like they punish you, they sentence you to death for the crimes of the people, somebody in your family. That is pure evil. Is that not pure evil?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, this man is not a prominent figure. He's like a
No.
teacher.
Yeah.
He's like a teacher or a retired teacher. This
He's
person
not a
is like
threat.
nobody. And so the Saudi activist in exile, Lena Al-Hathalu, she was asked for a comment on this case, and she said, quote, "They are sending a clear and sinister message that no one is safe, and even a tweet can get you killed."
Yeah, they're sending a message that if we can't reach you because you've left Saudi Arabia, don't think we can't reach you. You still have family back here. So you better watch your, even if you're in a free country, are you really free if your loved ones are at our disposal? If we could do what we want to your loved ones. So we will, we have reach everywhere, as long as, unless you bring your entire family and everybody. And even if you bring your family to these Western countries, your family still has family in, like, yeah, and friends still in Saudi Arabia. So you're never free. You're never free. Yeah.
The Islamic Republic of Iran also uses tactics like this. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
exactly. It's disgusting. Gagin American just used his membership, 20 months, been a member for 20 months, saying
Oh my
heathens of
god.
the world unite. Yeah, that's great. Guys,
Almost 2
again,
years
remember,
of membership.
yes, guys, you could become members. Use the membership option right next to the subscribe button. And
Yes,
then
it
you
is
had
a
some comments.
great way of supporting the show, and you get the coolest emojis. Speaking of,
Oh
we
yeah,
have
we're
an
going to.
announcement about that later, so stay
Yeah,
tuned.
shh. Don't say that. Later.
And members get special attention in the live chat.
Yeah.
And this was just some sweet comments that I liked. Oh, wait, no, first let's keep it on topic. So Shami has a good point. He's saying, I just find it insane how a murderer in my country, in the UK, would face less consequences than a man who simply made a tweet people did not like. Insanity.
No, that's a good way of looking at it. Exactly.
It is really mind boggling when you have that contrast.
We covered a story of a woman, a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
She got how many years in prison for retweeting? So this guy, at least he tweeted something. I think she got like 20 something years,
Oh no
24.
no no! There was one that started out at 45 and it was dropped down to 34
34.
years of
She got
imprisonment.
she's still in prison right now as we speak.
Yeah,
She
this only
got,
happened this year.
yeah. And she has 33 more years to go. Not because of anything she tweeted. A doctor in Saudi Arabia for a retweet. It's
And this is
insane.
all Twitter activity that happened mostly when she was overseas. The Twitter activity
Right.
happened when she was out of the country.
Yeah. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
All right. If somebody's saying, what did she retweet? It wasn't even that. It was something critical of. I don't even remember. It was so small.
I don't even know how critical it was. I just know that it
Yeah.
was generally from some activists that who have a history of being critical.
So the tweet itself was not even that critical. It was just the
I
person
don't
that was
know. I
being
don't
retweeted.
know how
Yeah.
critical it was. I just know that it came from
Yeah.
figures that were critical.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 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 Cool. So you had some other comments you wanted to highlight?
Oh yeah, this was just nice because I do like the kind words. It does
Yeah.
keep us going. Sandy is saying, I like your content. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. And John is saying, you guys are so very amazing. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you to our community that makes this possible. Yeah, it does make a huge difference.
Sweet. Okay. So can we? Ooh, this looks a little bit insane.
This
Is it
is
clappable?
crazy. Yes, this is juicy. There is some
Okay.
juicy stuff going down in India.
Wow. Okay. Oh my God. All right. Is it clappable? I
Yes.
think so. Next news.
Next news. Spiritual leader offers bounty for the beheading of an Indian politician who criticized Hinduism. As India gears up for its 2024 general election, uh, bear with me on pronouncing this name, everyone. Udaya Yandihi, Udhay Yandihi, Stalin. I'm just going to call him Stalin for short. And yes, his last name is actually Stalin. And yes, it is named after that Stalin. Okay, let us continue. So he's the state minister of sports and youth development in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu, has ignited a significant controversy. Speaking at a conference, he declared, Armin, you're going to love this quote. Quote, just like how dengue, malaria, or coronavirus need to be eradicated and not just opposed, we have to eradicate Sanatana Dharma. Referring to the principle often identified as Hinduism. For those who don't know, that's like the local or kind of more traditional way of calling it. His comments set off a nationwide uproar. Key political figures like Amit Malviya of the BJP perceived Stalin's remarks as a call for genocide on its followers, while Prime Minister Narendra Modi called for a strong rebuttal. Legal actions followed in states like including Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. So, people immediately started filing criminal complaints against him. In a shocking development,
we have those.
Yeah, we have those.
We have those. Yes, we got some of those as well. But yeah, go on.
In a shocking development, Paramhans Acharya of Ayodhya, a religious leader, placed a bounty of 10 crores, around 1.7 million US dollars, on Stalin's life. Also declaring that if no one else took his life, then he would take it upon himself to go take out Stalin himself. Undeterred, Stalin clarified his stance, emphasizing he wasn't endorsing any form of genocide, but was pointing out the divisive aspects of Sanatana Dharma in terms of caste and religion. So this story was actually brought to my attention by one of the leaders of one of our Indian consulates. And I was digging into this story and became fascinated because I was like, what did this guy say that made people so upset? And I have to say, okay, Stalin, okay, because I'm sorry, guys, I can't pronounce his name right. I read his full comments and I was like, this is pretty based. These comments, at least when I'm reading this translation, he's on point. So let me read more of his comments so we can get a more full picture. Okay. He says, so he was saying this at an event, and it was a conference titled the Sanatana Abolition Conclave, as organized by the Tamil Nadu Progressive Writers and Artists Association, to critique the concept of Sanatana Dharma. He said, quote, "I congratulate the organizers for calling the conference as the eradication of Sanatana Dharma instead of opposing Sanatana Dharma." He said, quote, "There are certain things that we have to eradicate and we cannot merely oppose. Mosquitoes, dengue, corona, and malaria are things that we cannot oppose. We have to eradicate them. Sanatanam is also like this. Eradication and not opposing Sanatanam has to be our first task."
Wow.
That was my reaction too.
Where's this? How is this guy? Can you guys make him the prime minister of India? Is that possible? Can you guys, people? Some people in the live chat were asking, yes, this guy. How is he so? How is he alive? How is he so? That's amazing. That requires some level of bravery that I did not know that anybody could have in India. I mean, I do. That he just made his life a lot more dangerous than, I don't know. So I don't know if I could tolerate. That's for myself. Like, he's in India. Do you know when we did our blasphemous art, how many people promised to find us and kill us? And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy that I don't live in India, or else I would be scared day and night. But this guy is. I mean, what he's saying is what we have been saying about Islam for ages.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't live in an Islamic country, and we're saying that. He's saying that while living in a Hindu country. And as you know, a lot of people think like, oh, Hindus are peaceful. Like, you know how many times we've heard like, at least we don't behead people, right? Well,
more times than I could count. Man, if I had $1 for every time I heard that.
At least we don't behead people. Well, I mean, some of, not all, but I guess you do. Some of you do.
There's a threat.
I mean, some people in the live chat are saying, "Is this can we call this a Hindu fatwa?" I mean, D and a couple other people are mentioning that.
Wait, I love that.
This is a Hindu fatwa, isn't it?
Yeah.
How is this guy not arrested? Shouldn't he be arrested? Is that not a crime in India to call for a beheading of somebody, and also to say this is a direct threat of violence? How is he?
And he did it on the news too.
Is he free? Is he arrested right now? Can you somebody please tell me if is he arrested?
Not that I'm aware of.
So Shikha is saying what the Hindu priest declared is wrong, but at the end of the day, see, when you're doing but at the end of the day, this is victim blaming. But you have somebody declaring to behead somebody. This is a direct threat of violence, and you're adding the word but there. That means you're victim blaming. Okay, at the end of the day, Stalin is still a politician, and he is doing cheap hate politics. How is this cheap hate politics? This is anti-hate. This is calling out hate. Hinduism is hate politics. Hindutva is hate politics. Fighting hate is not hate. Fighting hate is asking for the eradication of hate. This is fighting Hinduism is in the best interest of Hindus. It improves Hindu lives. The main victims of religion are the religious people. So how is this hate? It's kind of like saying fighting cancer is hateful because some people have cancer. If you're fighting Hinduism, it's because of the love you have for Hindu people. And it says politicians are biggest polarizing force, and they refrain from these hate. I don't think you're being consistent there. Okay, first of all, you need to be polarizing. You need to be polarizing between forces of good and forces of evil. Hinduism and Islam and Christianity and Judaism and other religion are forces of evil, and you want to separate yourself from that. So that is a good form of polarization.
Can I read more of his comments, because it just keeps getting better? It just keeps getting better. So for those who are not aware, so Stalin is actually the son of the chief minister, his name is MK Stalin. And they are part of the Dravidian tradition of politics, which, like, the DMK, I believe, originated with Periyar. And Armin, you remember talking about Periyar, right? He was this super revolutionary thinker who literally would go and smash idols in public, smashing the idols to throw off the oppression of the caste system that comes with them and that they symbolize, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
So,
don't know much about it. Yeah. Yeah.
well, I'm just giving you more context because we've talked about this before. So he was accused of calling for genocide, and they're like, I'm not, because people were conflating. He's talking about the eradication of Sanatana Dharma, and people, they're like, oh, you want to kill Sanatanis, like meaning the people that practice Sanatana
Right.
Dharma, and
Right.
he's like, no. So he said, I never called for the genocide of people who are following Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is a principle that divides people in the name of caste and religion. Uprooting Sanatana Dharma is upholding humanity and human equality. I am prepared to confront any challenges that come my way, whether in the court of law or in the people's court. Stop spreading this fake news, before adding that Sanatana Dharma is responsible for, quote, many evils. He said, quote, what is Sanatanam? It is the very name from Sanskrit. Sanatana is against equality and social justice and nothing else. What is the meaning of Sanatana? It is eternal. That is, it cannot be changed. One could not pose any question, and that is the meaning. He continued, what did Sanatana do for what did Sanatana do for women? It pushed women who lost their husbands into the fire, referring to the sati practice. It tonsured the heads of widows and made them wear
Oh my
white
God.
saris. Child marriages too happened. And then he went on to contrast Sanatana's quote unquote rigidity with the Dravidian ideology and political history, talking about how, in contrast, they gave free money for women to travel on buses so that they could have more safe space in public, that they could assistance so that women could go into college and further their education. So then he began to contrast it with how the own tradition that he comes from politically is way more progressive. But all of these comments, I'm like, yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Why is he the minister of
Where
sports
is the
and youth?
lie? Where is the lie?
He should be the minister of education, at least, if not the prime minister. He should have all the ministries. All of them should be under his control, I think. But oh, by the way, is his name actually Stalin, or is that because Newman is saying, please, guys, let's not call him Stalin?
That
Why
is
are people
literally his
referring to?
last name.
Yeah, so why are we? Yeah, that's his name.
I'm
So
I'm
there's that.
referring to his
Yeah.
last name because I don't want to
It's hard to
butcher his very
first.
beautiful first name.
Yep. People are saying who is he? He's the minister of sports and youth development in India. India's
No, not in
Tamil.
India, in the state of
Oh,
Tamil Nadu.
oh my God! This guy should have more higher, just in one state only.
Yeah,
God
in Tamil
damn
Nadu.
it! Somebody give this man a raise or whatever. Give him a bigger job. He sounds so reasonable and brave. Shikha is saying, I think statements. Okay, the grammar is not proper. I think statement of the politician shouldn't be appreciated because his political party and its ideology has advocated for pro-Tamilian fascism. Why are you being so collectively minded? Judge the person's what he is saying. I cannot say something that is rational because of a history that my party has. No, in fact, he should, given that, he should say he's speaking against fascism. His statements are anti-fascist. Hinduism is a fascist ideology, and he's speaking against fascism. So if his party has a fascist history, which I haven't looked into, so I don't know, but if it does have that, so I'm glad that he's saying that, so that he could clean his party's history. Given if you have a fascist, if your party has a fascist background, then his party is becoming less fascist because of having this man in it. So thank you, sir, for saying these things. Can we judge people's? I mean, even if tomorrow this man himself comes and says something that I disagree with, it doesn't change the fact that these statements that he has right here, right now, are true. We could evaluate we can evaluate every statement based on the merits, regardless of the history of the person or the party that he belongs to, just based on what he's saying. And what he's saying is completely accurate and true, and I thank him for saying it, given that what could happen to him. Yeah, go on.
Also,
but thank you for the super chat, Sheikha.
For the record, as the person on the team that knows more about the DMK, I don't have to support everything they do. I don't support everything that they do. I would not describe them as pro-Tamilian fascism. But yeah, I think that's a ridiculous accusation. But regardless, we don't have to support the entire party to be like, you know what? I appreciate this statement. It's not that black and white.
Yes. Darko is, again, I want to go back to this point. That's why I highlighted Darko's comment. This man just put a hit on somebody and he's just walking free. Like, what kind of sometimes I admire India's police, because sometimes like, oh, good job. India's police did something right. They arrested the man. So guys, please make sure that you understand, as much as we criticize India, it's not like it's not like a chaotic there. Like, if people do get arrested for stuff, when somebody beheads somebody for so and so goddess, they get arrested. Okay, it's not like a free for all country. Okay, it's a country of law and order. But Darko but why is this happening? I still don't understand. He just put a hit on somebody and he's still free. What is that? What is the legal system? How does the police work there? Like, Darko is saying, so you can just put a hit on someone in India and you're fine? Why? Can somebody explain that to me? Why is this man not arrested? And also another person.
Do a quick research to see if there has been any further action taken against him.
Guys, is somebody who's Marvel, are you retracting your own messages, or is one of our admins removing messages that he or she doesn't like? Marvel, can you explain if you retracted your own message? Sheikha also, please, because I don't want people's messages to get censored. Okay, Marvel is saying, I think Hinduism is a whole different thing from Hindutva. Okay, it's different, not a whole different thing. They are related, but just because I blame Hinduism and Hindutva, it doesn't mean that I'm claiming that they're both the same thing. Okay, Hinduism and Hindutva are different things, and they're both evil. Hinduism is Hinduism. Just because Hindutva is a new brand of evil, that doesn't mean Hinduism by itself is not evil. Hinduism is evil for different reasons than Hindutva, but they're both evil.
Okay, for the record, the local police did register a case against the seer, the religious dude who offered the hit on Stalin.
Okay, that's good. But registering a case, it doesn't mean, like, how is he not arrested? I swear, in other countries, when you go on, like, people put a hit on that. Can you, Susie? Maybe I don't understand. Wouldn't you, in other normal countries, be arrested right away when you put a hit on someone and ask other people to go kill somebody for a prize money? Wouldn't that be immediately arrest worthy?
I don't know. I don't know the legal situations.
Okay.
In some cases, they only take that action if the police has genuine cause to believe that is an imminent and realistic possibility. Right? If you're just threatening it, they'll definitely maybe file some charges for it, but you might not actually get arrested unless they have enough sufficient evidence to believe that this could imminently happen. That's, I'm no lawyer, but that's like what I'm
let us know
familiar with.
Yeah. You let us know, at least in the live chat, what you guys think. So you highlighted the comment. You wanted to read that before I get the next news?
Oh, what was the comment? Oh, you know what? Eric brings up a good point. He said this meeting was conducted in a small hall and would have been forgotten by everybody in less than an hour after its conclusion. It was made super popular by the BJP's IT cell geniuses. Okay, but you know what? This is the first time I'm going to say thank you to the BJP IT cells, because this is a revolutionary, taboo, iconoclastic, transgressive statement that needs to be amplified, that needs to be brought to light. And I read a really interesting analysis actually going over Stalin's statements and going over how the BJP is in a very tricky position in trying to condemn but not condemn him, because they're trying to appropriate caste liberation politics within their own Hindutva vision, right? So they can't go against him too hard in the right way, but at the same time, what he said is so transgressive against Sanatana Dharma. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. It brings up a lot of questions, especially going into the next elections. And if it wasn't for the BJP IT cells, I wouldn't have heard about this. So this is the first time I'm going to say thank you. Thank you to the BJP IT cells.
All right. So
yeah, I was reading the comments and I was like, this is so revolutionary. Like, I love this.
Thank you for your service.
Assalamu alaikum. That's a reference
All right,
to
so
the other show
Unicorn.
we do, guys.
Yes, Unicorn 1620 is reminding everybody to like this stream, and remember, this show will be haram if you have not liked the show. It will only be halal if you have liked the show, or else at the day of judgment you are answerable. Yes, basically to our you go to atheist hell if you watch the show and you don't like the show. And also, Hindu Historian is back. Yay! Hindu Historian is saying hello.
Hi, friend.
Armin, Susanna. Hello. All right. Oh, we got a super chat. We got a super chat from Shikha. Hold on, let me read this. One fascist against another fascist, both stupid. How is it fascism when you call it an ideology? He's not saying that we should arrest Hindus. He's not asking for their freedom of speech to be limited. He's calling out a backward ideology. How is that fascism? If I say Islam is bigoted, is that fascism? If that's not fascism, then it's not fascism to say Hinduism is bigoted. I mean, if this guy is a fascist, then we're fascists because we believe the same. We have the same views against Hinduism. We have the same views against Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism. How is expressing Shikha, you thinking that he should be limited in saying those words? That's closer to fascism, honestly, than what he's saying. Because you are trying to limit his freedom of expression. He's not. He's just expressing his views about an ideology. By the way, guys, keep giving us super chats for us to attack you. Who like to attack your views. This is how we appreciate people when they support us with money. So, by the way, thank you again, Sheikha, for your support, for your super chat. All right. Okay. We call you fascist when you support us with money.
Yeah, okay. It wouldn't be the first time. Stupid.
Sorry. Oopsies.
Armin's like, oh, you know what? Sometimes I go too hard.
All right. Yeah, somebody's saying they're at worst a center-left party. Yeah, they're not fascists. Okay. Can we clap for the next news? Oh, no.
No, this next news devastated me.
Okay. Next news.
Next news. Iranian political protester accused of burning the Quran, tortured to death in prison. Javad Ruhi, a 35-year-old Iranian civilian involved in the woman life freedom protests, was arrested on September 22nd, 2022, after allegedly breaking into the headquarters of the traffic police station in the northern city of Naushar, in setting it ablaze. Also accused of burning the Quran, he was hastily tried in a 45-minute proceeding, resulting in 3 death sentences on charges including corruption on earth, blasphemy, and inciting the sacred by setting the fire to a Quran. Disturbingly, despite a video surfacing of Ruhi dancing peacefully in the street amid the protests, he was subjected to over 40 days of harrowing torture in custody, detailed by Amnesty International. He was tortured, and as a result, he had multiple physical problems. While his death sentences were overturned by Iran's Supreme Court in May, he was kept in detention, awaiting a retrial until his abrupt death led to a swell of anger among Iranians. Outspoken journalist and activist Masih Alinejad implored on her Instagram, quote, "Let's make Javad Ruhi's name a symbol of our revolution. They sentenced him to execution, but they executed him secretly. Let's not allow them to succeed." Oh my gosh. So this Javad died a few days ago. And this shattered me because I don't know. I think following the uprising in Iran as closely as I do, I know that there are lots of people that I guess feel a particular affinity for certain people who have become the faces of the movement. So my ex was really moved by the story of Nika Shakarmi, who was a 14-year-old, no, I think she was 15, girl who was murdered for her protesting in September in an extremely brutal way. And one protester that's really close to my heart was Majid Reza Rafnavard, who was executed, hung in public above the streets of his hometown in Kurdistan. And before he was executed in a forced confession, he publicly declared that he doesn't want them to read the Quran at his funeral. And he was celebrated for that across the nation. And Javad Ruhi was another one of these protesters whose case I had been following. And for whatever reason, I think it was because of the accusations against him, I felt a particular affinity for him. Because, so this is a man who had some difficulty in life. He ended up getting a divorce because he had some untreated, I think it was maybe bipolar and some instability. He wanted to be a lawyer. He was traveling around, and in these protests, actually, Armin, if you scroll down, we can see the video of him dancing in the protests. And for this dancing in the protests, he was given 3 death sentences. This is the only thing that we have record and evidence for him participating in. And
which video?
That one right there. The one? Yeah. And he was tortured so severely. I don't really want to give details of what they did to him because I think even in death, this man deserves dignity. But they tortured him so severely that he was rendered nonverbal and incontinent. For this right here that we're watching on this screen. For being in public, caught on camera, dancing in public. As protest.
I think we should mention how he was tortured because I think we need to know how evil the regime is if you have any details.
Oh my gosh. Well, we know that part of his torture involved that he was locked in a cold storage facility for extremely long periods of time. He was tortured with electrical shocks. They sexually assaulted him by icing his testicles for days at a time. They would hang him by his arms for so long that he suffered extremely severe rotator cuff injuries. And much more. And then after all of this, when he's obviously in severely poor physical condition, he was then medically neglected. And honestly, I think medical neglect might be one of the most terrifying forms of torture. Yeah.
He was murdered.
And
This is murder. Was an execution disguised as not an execution, but it was definitely an execution, a worse kind of execution. Like it's a slower, more painful type of execution.
yeah. And so they trumped up charges against him. They said that he broke into the traffic police station and set it on fire. They said that he set the Quran on fire, and so he was also accused of apostasy. And I guess that those trumped up charges, I guess, are worthy in their mind of this kind of treatment. And I think part of why I have a soft spot in my heart for him is because of the accusation that he burned the Quran. Because even though I find it extremely unlikely that he actually did that, the mere idea that he would be accused of that and then that act alone justifies his murder, it's unfathomable to me. And there were photos that came out of him just hours before he died in a hospital bed, rendered unconscious with a feeding tube and a breathing tube. And people were comparing that photo side by side with the photo of Masa Amini just hours before she died, after she was beaten so severely in custody by the morality police for her improper hijab. And I mean, when you look at these photos, they're like the mirror image of each other. And I think, especially considering that next week it will be the 1-year anniversary of Masa's death, the 1-year anniversary of her murder, having this happen so soon to that anniversary and having the images be so similar is just, it serves as a reminder that this cruelty, this barbarism, this lack of accountability, the utter disdain for life, how Iranians are deprived of the right to life constantly and in the most cruel and torturous fashion. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It was this was particularly painful for me. Yeah.
By the way, for people who might think that we're making this up when it comes to when you say trumped up charges, because there's no evidence that this guy burned the Quran. Not that burning the Quran is wrong. I burned the Quran, right? But it's so these people have a history, a long history of just adding stuff that people have not done to their cases just so that they could get rid of them.
They don't even try to hide it anymore.
They don't. They on purpose make it easy for you to tell, like, because they want, this is a fear tactic, right? They say they are trying to, like, when you feel like, oh, are these people stupid? We can tell, like, it's so obvious to people that they're just adding to the case stuff that these people haven't done. But they're not that stupid. They want you to know that they can do that. It's not like they're trying to do, they're doing a bad job at hiding it on purpose, because it's a method for you to be worried about what they can add to your case. And just so that we have videos, we have a lot of videos of government mullahs teaching, like we have videos of them teaching to other people, to other mullahs and other religious figures in the government and other places, that why this is allowed. So they're not even hiding it. They record themselves teaching, and this is their justification, right? They say false accusations to the enemy of an Islamic regime is allowed Islamically. They say that. They say that because the highest priority is to uphold and defend an Islamic regime. And because the only proper form of Islamic regime is the Velayat Faqih, anybody who doesn't accept, not just against, anybody who doesn't accept Velayat Faqih is an enemy of God, and you are allowed to use all means necessary to take them down, including false accusations. They say false accusation is Islamically allowed. They have we have videos of them teaching that to people, that that's allowed. And by the way, I want to use this as a reminder for the idiots who say don't burn the Quran because something could happen to you. You know, it doesn't matter if you burn the Quran or don't burn the Quran. If they want to take you out, even if you haven't burned the Quran, they will say you have burned the Quran. So in fact, what you should be doing, I think, is to burn the Quran so that this doesn't work as a taboo that in a society that they could justify this at least to their own base. Like, look how evil this person is. The reason why we burn Qurans is to desensitize people, is to break a taboo. So somebody who's not evil in the eyes of the government space, because when they say that this is a Quran burner, at least the 10% of the population that still sees it as evil, it will be feels justified about his death or his murder, feels like this was justified, this is okay, this was a Quran burner. We say you have to desensitize the population to how bad this is so that this does not work as a tactic. Or else it doesn't matter. They still kill people, even if they don't burn the Quran.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yeah. This is also serves as a reminder that, guys, September 16th is the 1-year anniversary of Massa's death. In most, I believe that's Sunday or Saturday for most people. So there will be massive demonstrations happening across the world. So I would really, really encourage you, if you live in a major city or go to your nearest major city, to go find a local Iranian demonstration. I'm going to a demonstration next week. I'm bringing some friends. Go bring some friends. You don't have to be Iranian to participate. In fact, I cannot tell you how meaningful it is to the community to see non-Iranians coming forward and supporting them really, really strongly. It makes a world of a difference. And I know that people would be thrilled and really moved to see a lot of non-Iranians there. So I would really, really encourage people to go find a local Iranian demonstration and participate next week. It's important that we remember this movement, remember the people that we lost in this movement, and keep fighting. So, yeah. Oh, I got emotional.
Okay. Thank you, Susie. Thank you for keep reminding us how important this is. See this saying, Zan Zindagi Azadi, with a fist up. Thank you for that. All right. Okay, so we should move on to the next news. We did get a super chat. I think this was relevant to what I said. We got relevant to what I said before regarding fascism. Asian Americans saying new king just dropped, being called a fascist. Okay, well, I'm.
Oh, that's convenient because I was just called a Yahtzee. I'm gonna go get a tissue just so I don't sound all sniffly. I'll be right back.
I think Tanky is trying to point out the hypocrisy of other people. I don't know if he's being serious. I think he's yeah. Also, Silva is saying, our emotional CEO Susie. Yeah, emotional. I mean, how could you not be emotional, right? People are being innocent people are being killed. Don't delete them, guys. Don't delete these comments. It's fine. No, Space Leah is saying we love you, Susie. You guys are still arguing about the previous news, eh? Like I think a lot of people from India are disagreeing in the live chat regarding the party, whether it's fascist or not. Oh, thank you saying I'm 100% serious, Armin. If Modi said to wipe out Islam like malaria, would you call him based? Islam or Muslims? Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Modi himself, given the history he has with regards to Muslims, I don't think he understands. Like, if he talks about Islam, I would be very suspicious that he's talking about Muslims himself, right? But if you talk about Islam, yeah, I mean, I love Muslims, and that's why I want to wipe out Islam, because I think Muslims are the main victims of Islam. So wiping out Islam is completely based. Wiping out Muslims is fascist and genocidal and horrible, right? Wiping out Islam does not mean like you eliminate Muslims to eliminate Islam. You just have to convince Muslims out of Islam and Islam would be wiped out. That's how you wipe out Islam. If you try to wipe out Islam by eliminating Muslims, then you're a fascist. If you try to wipe out Islam by trying to convince Muslims out of Islam, then that is based. Okay, depends on what you mean by wiping out. Oh, we got a super chat by Kenny. Thank you so much, Kenny, for the €5 super chat. I appreciate that. All right, can we clap for the next news? Oh, India again.
Oh, a child got hurt real bad, so I don't think I want to.
Okay, no clapping. Next news.
Next news. Hindu student hospitalized after being beaten by Muslim teacher in India. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get into it. In Jammu and Kashmir, a historically contested region nestled in the northernmost part of India, a 10th grade student from Kathua was hospitalized after being beaten by his school authorities for writing Jai Shri Ram, or Glory to Lord Rama, on his classroom's blackboard. The sensitivity of this incident is accentuated by Jammu and Kashmir's unique demographics and history. Historically, the region has witnessed significant Hindu Muslim tensions. Over the years, there have been instances of Hindus facing persecution, leading to large migrations, or I think it's more accurately would be described as ethnic cleansings, especially from the Kashmir Valley. Given this backdrop, such an incident in Jammu heightens communal sensitivities and brings forth memories of past religious conflicts. Protests erupted in response to the assault of the student, with calls for action against the educators involved. This episode serves as a stark reminder of the delicate socio-political fabric of Jammu and Kashmir, where religious expressions can quickly become flashpoints. So, this was a story that was brought to our attention last week, because last week we covered the story of in Uttar Pradesh, the teacher asking the students to come to the front of the classroom and beat a Muslim student. And when we were talking about that, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, you guys are so hypocritical, blah, blah, blah. What about what happened in Kashmir? And I was like, well, what did happen in Kashmir? I didn't hear about this. So I wanted to cover it this week. And so basically, there's not a ton of information about what the details of the situation were, at least in English speaking media. So what I know is that there was this student, and in his school, he wrote Jai Shri Ram on the blackboard. And allegedly, his teacher and then the principal came and beat him so severely that he then needed to be hospitalized. And
What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, how do they beat a kid? Oh my god! I mean, beating a kid in any form is bad, but how the hell? How would you beat him enough that he needs to be hospitalized? Like, what are they doing?
Well, if you beat someone on the head too much, you can cause serious concussions.
If I was this kid's father, like, aren't they afraid of the kid's parents? And I don't know what I would do if I was this kid's father.
Oh my
Oh my
God, I would see
God.
red. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
What is happening in, oh my God. Like, stop beating kids in India, please. What the hell's wrong with you?
In the classroom too.
Like, may I ask this question again? Are these people arrested or are they free?
I can't remember off the top of my head if the principal actually was ascertained. Let me double check really quickly.
I mean, this needs arrest, okay? This is actual violence. These people, you don't need an FIR or just like writing an FIR. They need to be in handcuffs right away. You beat up a kid.
So, what I'm seeing is that a case has been registered and investigations are ongoing.
That's not enough. I mean, if you hit a kid, you have to be in handcuffs right away. A case has been registered. You beat up any person, even if it's not a kid. If you beat up somebody, you should be arrested. I don't understand. Come on, the law enforcement in India. Maybe stop filing FIRs against me and Susie and go arrest these mofos. God damn it. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And so what I thought was interesting is that so allegedly the issue was writing Jai Shri Ram on the board. And in response, especially the BJP unit in Kashmir has said, or Jammu and Kashmir, I should say, said some people now consider Jai Shri Ram to be a felony. Do you think that's going too far?
What is freedom of expression? I mean, it's stupid, but it's like freedom of why is that a felony? You should be able to free to say whatever stupid things you want as long as it's not a direct threat of violence or a scam, right? Like a fraud or something, right? So here, libel, fraud, direct threats of violence, these are the limitations. But that's an expression of your beliefs. Of course that should be allowed. Just like Allah, somebody should be able to write Allahu Akbar, and the next person should be able to say Jai Shri Ram, and the atheist kid should be able to say like you're both stupid for saying those things. All of it should be allowed. It's a secular country. India is supposed to be a secular country where these things people should be allowed to say these things. I don't understand how hard is this.
Are there any comments you wanted to highlight?
I'm not saying India is fascist. I'm saying India is a secular. I'm saying I expect more from India because India is a secular country. It's a free democratic. It's a secular democracy. You're a secular democracy, India. So please act like it. Yeah. Okay. We gotta. You highlighted something from Eric. You wanted to highlight that?
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
Okay. So Shikha has a super chat saying many in India openly call on genocide on Brahmins. Yes, and many also openly call on genocide on Muslims and Hindus and lower caste people. I mean, that is disgusting to call open genocide on Brahmins, okay? But we see more discrimination against lower caste people and people outside of the caste system than Brahmins, just to be fair. But again, so we could highlight at the same time how evil and disgusting it is to be anti-Brahmin, because being anti-Brahmin, if you're a Brahmin, you have inherited that. Like that's something that you had no choice in. So being anti-that is stupid and disgusting. But also anti-Brahmin, even though it exists and it's disgusting, is not nearly close to how anti-lower caste and anti-Dalit people are. That is way, 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 way more common, right? And also, Shikha, as much as it's important to highlight how being anti-Brahmin is wrong, celebrating being Brahmin is also wrong. So you shouldn't be anti-Brahmin, but also being a celebration of being Brahmin. So Shikha, you also have to acknowledge that That is stupid as well. It's completely idiotic to celebrate being Brahmin. It is idiotic to be anti-Brahmin or pro-Brahmin. It should be irrelevant. It doesn't matter that you're Brahmin. Right. Yeah, so it's not covered as much. It's good to cover that. Yeah, you're right, Shikha. It's good to cover anti-Brahmin hate as well, but it's also good to point out that it's stupid to be proud of being Brahmin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Can we what? Did you see something?
No,
What did you
that
see?
just made a memory flash back to my mind. So I told you about that party I went to where I showed up, and then like surprisingly, the majority of the people there were like from India, and not like, oh, they're Indian Americans, but they're like from India. And the funniest thing about this party was that I made friends with this guy, and by the end of the party, he was drunkenly explaining stock options to me and also the caste system. So
What?
just like
Okay.
imagine this guy like drunk off his face, one telling you he's like, no, don't invest. If people are talking about it, don't invest. And then also trying to explain the caste system as if I know nothing and talking about his like Brahmin guilt, like while drunk.
Brahmin guilt? Is that like a white guilt?
Yeah,
Brahmin guilt is like white guilt. Oh my god,
yeah.
they have that as well? They have Brahmin guilt? Okay. That's amazing.
He was like, I'm Brahmin and the caste system is awful and all this. He was so drunk. It was so funny. Oh my god.
By the way, AV is saying Brahmin genocide and Muslim genocide calls are very common. Lower castes don't face calls for genocide. They are majority. Yeah, they don't face the calls, but they have actions. People act upon it rather than just calling upon it, right?
People need to stop acting like atrocities against like lower castes isn't something that happens on a daily basis. Like
we have acts of violence against lower castes and Dalits more than any Brahmin. Like, of course, it is way more common. Oh my god, so many kids are killed and beaten to death for being Dalit, for drinking out of a well, for saying something for reading something that they shouldn't have. Like, okay. Anyway, so
especially when you look at how statistically frequent it is, it's mind blowing. The frequency.
Right. Can we clap for the next news?
Yes, we can.
Oh, next news.
Charlie Hebdo takes aim. Denmark's controversial blasphemy law under fire. The French satirical newspaper Charlie Hebdo, known for its tragic brush with extremism in 2015, is taking Denmark to task over a proposed law against the desecration of religious books such as the Quran. Stemming from events where anti-Islam activists publicly burned copies of the Quran, leading to global outrage and violent counter-protests, the Danish government aims to mitigate such incidents by extending bans similar to the ones on burning foreign flags. Justice Minister Peter Hummelgaard explained that the bill's intent is to penalize those who desecrate religious scriptures in public or to aim to disseminate such actions broadly. However, Charlie Hebdo, collaborating with 8 Scandinavian media outlets, warns against the return of Denmark's blasphemy law, which was repealed in 2017. Rees, Charlie Hebdo's director, asserted, quote, "It's serious that a European country should decide to reinstate such a medieval offense." The publication argues that the move caters to pressure from Muslim-majority nations and dampens freedom of expression. Yet, Denmark emphasizes that the bill doesn't diminish the nation's commitment to free speech. So,
how does it not? Like, we're going to ban people for expressing something, but this is not against freedom of expression. Like,
so
it is.
They want to basically copy a system or restriction that they have when it comes to burning foreign flags, because I guess their what's the word I'm looking for? Their theory, their thinking is that by burning foreign flags in public or disseminating it to a large audience, you're trying to promote enmity against that nation. So the logic being is that when you're doing this kind of act publicly, you are promoting enmity in publicizing the idea that Denmark is against these people, this group, XYZ. So that's kind of the way in which they frame it.
Okay, you don't get to decide what I mean by my expression, if especially if I say, if I'm clear about what I mean by my expression. If I'm burning the Quran because I'm against Islam, not because I'm against immigrants, you don't get to say like, no, this is what you mean, this is how we interpret it, and that's why it's but like that is, if that is allowed, then you're not for freedom of expression. If you could interpret what I'm saying based on what you want, and then based on your interpretation stop me from what I'm saying, then you are against freedom of expression. I'm literally will tell you like, I'm burning the Quran because I'm against Islam, and because I'm fighting for freedom of speech while being pro-immigrant, and you're saying no, you're not, and because we decide that this is what you actually mean, we're going to stop you from saying, well, yeah, well, then you don't have freedom of expression. Also, tying an entire group of people to their ideology is a form of bigotry. So if you're saying,
flip it and reverse it. Okay, Armin, go off.
Right. No, if you're saying that me, by criticizing this ideology, I am basically attacking or demonizing an entire group of people, you have reduced an entire group of people to a certain book. You have tied their identity to that book. This is essentializing an entire group of people, which is a form of bigotry and racism. So if you're looking for the bigot here, look in the mirror, Danish government.
Yeah. I think the fact that this is even on the table for consideration is already a shameful and viscerally dangerous precedent. The fact that this is even on the table for discussion as a possibility is beyond the pale and extremely worrying and dangerous, because the mere talk about curtailing this right, for this reason, the mere talk of kowtowing to violence is setting the precedent that this is a reasonable reaction. And how do I want to put this? It's validating these actions. The legislation is the worst form of it, but even having this discussion is validating and legitimizing the tactics used to influence people with fear and terror. This shouldn't even be up for discussion. Mm-hmm. And yet here we are. In merely having this discussion, merely entertaining the idea is going to be used and adds fuel to the people that will only take it further. They will only take it further. This is why we stand so firm on these actions, as radical as they may seem, because we know from experience and we know from history that it will not end with just saying, don't burn this book. It will not end there. They will take it further, because if you validate that we should have a red line on the basis of this book, they're going to keep pushing that red line further. And we refuse. We rebuke it in the name of Jesus. No, I'm kidding. Like, the answer is no. My favorite thing is what Armin used to say all the time is, we piss on your red lines when the red lines are not causing harm. Mere insult to your feelings or your hurt religious sentiments is not a standard of harm that is worthy enough of state intervention. And as Armin was saying earlier, if you do not have your political freedoms, you have nothing. And free expression is the primary, the seminal political freedom that everything else stands upon. So it is so important that we all support freedom-minded Danes, Swedes, and people across the world who understand what this, by desecrating this book, what it actually stands for. For some people, it stands for hate. But for a lot of other people, it's about a principle. And what does it say on my back wall right here? Okay. Azadi Tanafrush. Don't sell your freedom. Okay.
By the way, a lot of people were shocked how pink that Quran is.
It's
Look at
rainbow.
this.
Oh, you can see that I drew inside of it.
Yeah. Look how many people are like, that book is pink. And so wait. Pinky Quran. Is that a pink Quran?
It's rainbow. I got it on Etsy.
It's a gay Quran. Oh. Those are the name of the two people who were executed in Iran for posting videos of Quran burnings on their Telegram account. They were hanged to death. Yeah. All right. Oh, look, people are saying. All right. Okay, so can we clap for the next news?
This is a twist of fate, and this is a twist of irony. So I kind of want to clap for this one.
I want to clap for this one as well. Okay. Next news.
Pakistani Islamic cleric who is notorious for his fatwas has been booked on blasphemy charges. This is what blasphemy law does to you, folks. It comes for you. In an intricate landscape of Pakistan's religious dynamics, a notable Islamic cleric, Mufti Hanif Qureshi, who issued a fatwa or Islamic death opinion and played a significant role in instigating the assassination of a reformist government, now faces blasphemy charges himself. Accused by two residents, Hafiz Shahid Mahmoud and Imran Ashkar, Qureshi allegedly made derogatory comments about the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, a grave offense under Pakistan's stringent blasphemy laws, and an offense which just a few weeks ago actually got increased in the penalty and penalization. These laws have been the subject of global debate, particularly as they've been recently amplified to impose harsher punishments against those disrespecting the Prophet Muhammad's immediate circle. The current accusations against Qureshi spotlight the unpredictable nature of religious sentiments in the nation. While the cleric had previously encouraged the murder of Governor Salman Taseer for perceived blasphemy, he now stands accused of a similar offense. The gravity of this situation is underscored by recent violent events in Pakistan, where mere accusations, whether substantiated or not, can lead to communal riots or even public lynchings. Oh my God. So let's dig into this, and we need to provide a little bit more background for people that don't know who this guy is and what's going down here.
Wait. Before you do that, you know what this reminded me of? Hold on. I just found it. Obviously, this should have been
People
the
who are
thumbnail
only
of
listening,
this.
describe it. What did you show us for old?
Oh, it's the
podcast
Spider-Man
listeners?
meme where the two Spider-Mans are pointing at each other like, no, you.
Oh my God.
All right.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's provide some context. So, I think it was about two decades ago. When did the Asia Bibi thing actually happen? So, let's, for the sake of when did the Asia Bibi case happen? Okay. So in 2010, there was a Pakistani Christian woman named Asia Bibi who was accused of blasphemy and sentenced to death by hanging. And this happened because she's a Christian woman and she basically tried to drink water from the same place as a bunch of other Muslim women. And she's so filthy as an infidel and unbeliever and deemed so subhuman by these other people that this was worthy enough for them to then retaliate against her in the form of a blasphemy accusation, which is gonna, you're gonna be sentenced to death for that, especially as a religious minority. And in Punjab, Pakistan's most populous province, there was a governor, and his name was Salman Taseer. And Salman Taseer was very reformist. He was very liberal and wanted to help Pakistan progress. And he called for mercy for Asia Bibi and came out against the blasphemy charges against her. And because of this, muftis and clerics, such as Mufti Hanif Qureshi right here, issued a fatwa calling for the death of Salman Taseer because of his sympathies for this Christian woman accused of blasphemy over some BS. And because of that, one of his own bodyguards assassinated him. They assassinated Salman Taseer. His family had to flee Pakistan. And, oh my God. Then, when his assassin, his murderer, was hanged by the state, executed by the state for what he did, there were mass processions for his memorial. The pictures of his memorial are shocking in how huge they are, in people celebrating the legacy of this man, basically as a martyr for Islam. Yes, look at this. I cannot even be my mind boggles at the size of this crowd. And now his grave.
So just to be clear,
yeah, go ahead.
These are people who are celebrating somebody, this man as a martyr, for killing a person who was just defending someone's right to freedom of expression. So these are radical people. All of these people, millions of people, were considered this man a martyr, a hero, for killing a politician who he was supposed to protect just because he defended someone else's right to blaspheme. He didn't even blaspheme himself. He just defended someone else's right to blaspheme, and
it
he was
wasn't
killed
even
for
really
it.
her right to blaspheme. He was just calling for mercy for this poor woman.
Mercy. Yes. And these people think that because he was calling for mercy, all of these people you're saying on this picture, they believe that he should have been, it was right to kill him for calling for mercy for somebody, because they're celebrating the murderer. All of these people celebrate this man as a hero. Like, imagine how backwards your religion must be, that somebody who's calling for a mercy is evil and deserving of death, and the person who killed it is a hero. That's what all of these people here believe. Yeah.
And now the site of this murderer's grave has become a shrine. It is one of the most, when you see, it's like opulent. It's now treated as a shrine where you go observe this like great hero, this great martyr for Islam, this murderer. Yeah. So Mufti Hanif Qureshi is one of the people that called for the murder of Salman Taseer. Mm-hmm. And now he has blasphemy accusations against himself. Now, granted, it's accusations of blasphemy against the companions, so that's not going to render the death sentence. You only...
What did he say?
I don't know. I couldn't find record of that anywhere. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows if he even said anything? It's probably just some personal BS. People use this to take out their personal grievances constantly.
You know, I think it's going to get to the point where you better just not talk about Islam, because If you just talk about Islam, you don't know if you're blaspheming or not. Like if the standards for blasphemy are so low right now in
You better
Pakistan.
just not know anyone. It doesn't matter if you talk about Islam, Armin. Anyone can accuse
Yeah,
you
but
of it regardless.
yeah.
You have a score you need to settle, make an accusation.
Hmm. I mean, this is the fire that you started, and now you're burning in your own fire. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's only the insult to the Prophet Muhammad himself that gets the full-blown death penalty. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, they amplified the punishment for this to be several years in prison and a very hefty fine. I can't remember exactly how many years. Wait, I think they might have increased it to be like no less than 3 to 6 years with a maximum of life. I could be misremembering, but I think that's the amplified penalty now.
We should have an Oprah scene like you're blaspheming, everybody is blaspheming, like something like that. I mean,
Should we just maximize the blasphemy accusations to the point that everyone has a blasphemy accusation against them so that no one can actually act on it because everyone has an accusation? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a dangerous game to play.
I mean, Imran Khan was blaspheming based on actually like the standards of blaspheming. He like even before this insanity, he was blaspheming against Islam, right? I mean, I have Islamic hadith that is technically blaspheming.
How so?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I will get to that later. But
yeah, Muhammad Tariq is saying Pakistan's penal code 295C is one of the world's most disgusting laws. You're 100% right.
Right. I mean, the very foundation of Islam is blaspheming against Islam because of the Quran being the uncreated word of God challenges the concept of Tawheed. So Islam is technically blaspheming against Islam, but that's a different topic.
This is why we need the Metazolites.
Right. All right. Can we clap? But wait, would you say, I don't want to suggest this because of the consequences, but some people might go out and say that, you know what, the best way to get rid of all this blasphemy nonsense is to go and accuse the people who started this of blasphemy, because the main people who are responsible for all these blasphemy insanity, just go and accuse them of that left and right.
It's a dangerous game to play, though.
Yes,
it's a dangerous game to play, and everyone gets burned. I mean, it really is like a lose-lose situation. You know what I mean? Like, do you really want to play that game?
Something will grow out of the ashes. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if you do that, then you should do it anonymously, like on Telegram and other places. You know what I mean? If you want to accuse them with that. If I'm not suggesting any of these things, I'm just saying somebody.
Yeah, I don't think we want to go down that path.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I mean, these are evil people, though. Okay. So, can we clap for the next news?
Yes, you're gonna love this.
Okay. Next news.
Is AI killing religious faith? The surprising link exposed. The decline of global religiosity has been linked to the rise of artificial intelligence, or AI, and robotics in a pivotal study recently published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science, or PNAS for short. The researchers suggest that as AI and automation increasingly tackle complex tasks like diagnosing diseases or forecasting the weather, people may lean less on religious beliefs for explanations. This shift differs from past eras, like the Industrial Revolution, where technological advances didn't notably dent religious fervor. To substantiate their claim, researchers conducted 4 experiments, including a broad survey across 68 countries from 2006 to 2019, which found a negative association between exposure to robotics and religiosity. Moreover, US metropolitan areas experiencing higher robotics growth recorded a 3% yearly religiosity decline each decade. And a focused studies with individuals with jobs heavily exposed to AI were found to be, quote, 45% less likely to believe in God. While not definitive, the results suggest a significant relationship between the proliferation of automation and declining religious belief across various cultures and religions in the modern era. This was really interesting to me. So, the idea is that people that are more exposed to automation, it could be in the form of robotics or it could be in the form of AI, are less likely to believe in God because it's the broader idea of we used to have God and religion to explain things that we did not understand. But now we have technology as a mechanism to help investigate and explain these things. So, especially when we're working directly with these forms of automation, when we're working directly with these technologies, we are more prone to see that as a more likely explanation than the God of the gaps argument, essentially. But Armin, what is your reaction to this as our local AI king?
What? Okay.
What do you think?
What? What? Okay. Well, okay. Here's the thing. So even before AI, the internet was responsible for getting a lot of people out of religion because a lot of information was available now. A lot of things that people didn't have the answer to was now accessible. So just like books made turned a lot of people to atheists because a lot of people who used to use religion as a way to explain the world now saw alternative ways to make sense of things because of books, right? But books was not enough because a lot of people did not have access to books. Books were a lot of people didn't have the patience, the time, or the capacity to read books and understand books. So books turned a lot of people to atheists, but still a lot of people weren't reading books. The internet came and it made the information more consumable because it was not just in book format anymore. It was in podcast format. It was in video format. And a lot of people that don't have the capacity to finish entire books were now watching videos and listening to podcasts and memes and a whole bunch of the commenting on social media, and they got exposed to alternative ways of looking into the world, and that made a lot of people atheists. However, now the new barrier was capacity to do research, because even with the internet, where people have access to a lot of information, they also have a lot of access to a lot of misinformation. So, and just because you have access to information, it doesn't mean necessarily that you could identify what's good information and how to do proper research, right? So it made a lot of people atheists, but still there was a lot more untapped potential that was not yet available to a lot of people there. So the internet was supposed to promised us to democratize access to information, but access to information, there's a if you are not somebody who knows how to research, even if you could technically have access to information, with that limitation, do you really have access to information if you don't know how to research it? So this next piece of the puzzle with AI knows how to do research. So now this whole process of democratizing access to information becomes easier, because even if you don't know how to go find the best information out there, AI will do the research for you, right? The AI, it reduces that. So if when we went to books, that barrier became lower. Then we went to the internet, the barrier, the wall became shorter, the barrier became smaller. And now when we go to AI, now everybody can do the level of research where you need experts in, like going out and finding the sources, comparing them. Now a teenager with no background in research could do the level of research where experts are only able to do. So with that reduced barrier, like somebody in a child in a village in Bangladesh now with access to AI could ask questions and get answers that he or she would have had to do hours and hours of research and comparisons between research articles and blog posts and commentary, all from experts all around the world, to be able to get that information. Now that person could do that within a matter of minutes. And a lot of the times they don't even know that they're doing that. When they're asking a question from AI, a lot of people don't understand that the answer that they're giving is basically hours worth of research reduced to 2 minutes, 2 minutes worth of like time on AI. So that democratization of access to information is now the next level. And given that books may turn a lot of people into atheists, having the printing press made a lot of people less religious, and then the internet made a lot of people less religious, I do suspect that it's natural to it's quite easy to believe that this now higher access to information and good information is going to be basically in line with what we've seen before. I mean, I've even seen the effects of it now. I am in communication with people with very, very little understanding, very poor scientific background or research background, that are teenagers from very far away places, like not major cities. Like, I talk to these people online and on a weekly basis, right? And I've seen the level of misinformation they have had about things. Like, I've just recently talked to a teenager who is very interested in science and did not know who to believe regarding whether or not the earth is flat, right? And
Mm.
because of AI, right? Because he's interested in what he's learning in school about, as he's so interested in astronomy and stuff, but also from people around him and from social media, he's clicking on a lot of conspiracy theories about flat earthers and stuff like that, and he can't tell the difference. He can't tell what to believe, right? And
Mm-hmm.
now with AI, it's easy now for him to figure out what is that right answer. I could see, like, I'm seeing
Mm.
an example of this person completely now dismissing flat earth conspiracy theory because of his access to AI.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Well, I think we should read some of the comments from social media that our lovely editor D pulled
Yes.
up to see how people are thinking about this. Um, so here's one reaction on Twitter saying this has some big correlation isn't causation energy. Well, okay, here's the thing.
That's stupid.
This is a study that was done over decades, and the researchers themselves, to publish a scientific paper, you have to list the limitations, and it's well expressed in the discussion that this is not causation, that they're exploring a correlation, but the correlation is very what's the word I'm looking for? They did this across 68 countries, across different regions, across different cities, and across different religious backgrounds, and they observed similar effects in all this such a wide population over such a long period of time. So yes, no one is saying that this is causation. No one should be saying that. But given the vastness of the data and the correlation that we're seeing across cultures, this is more generalizable than other findings, right? Given the strength of that sampling. And it's
You know
again,
it. Mm.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I just think a lot of people think they sound very smart when they point out that correlation isn't necessarily causation, but they don't understand that many times it does mean causation, right? Just because you're pointing out that correlation isn't causation, it doesn't mean that it's not causation. And correlation might not prove causation, but it suggests causation.
Hmm.
Correlation does not prove causation, but it does suggest it. It does make it more possible that it's causation. And if you see correlation alongside with a good explanation for why it could be causation, then correlation heavily, like very, very, is very likely to to point to causation, right? And that's why people comment this without actually looking at the research, because a lot of time the researchers are showing a correlation, and then they're giving a theory for why this correlation could be because of causation, and you're just pointing in the comment like, what was this? And you're just saying, nah, somebody else mentioned it in the comment, like you are not, you didn't click on the article, you didn't read the explanation, you didn't read why there's a good theory behind why this is also causation, and you just think like you sound smart by taking 5 seconds. Like, these people put so much time in analyzing this data, and you think that you just dismiss the entirety of the research with the 5-second time that you spent on the comment. That correlation is not necessarily causation.
And I think if you don't read the article, you don't understand the exact kind of mechanism that the researchers are getting at. So to make it clear, I'll read a quote. Quote, "This claim," operative word, "this claim is based on recent research on lay perceptions of automation. Such studies show that people ascribe automation technology with abilities that border on the supernatural," the researchers wrote. "Historically, people have deferred to supernatural agents and religious professionals to solve instrumental problems beyond the scope of human ability. These problems may seem more solvable for people working and living in highly automated spaces." So that's the mechanism at play here.
Right. I mean, how could it not be causation if there's a correlation? Of course, it's reasonable to think it's causation. You have now a tool that could better analyze information. How are you thinking that is not causation? How is that possible that does not lead to better understanding of the world? Of course it does lead to a better understanding of the world. And a better understanding of the world means less religion. All right, these are some other comments here. You want to read this one?
Yeah, someone else saying, "I feel like the forced Christo-fascist movement is the driving force for exits out of religion and patriarchal religions, and efforts like Andrew Tate teaching young impressionable guys to groom and abuse women so that they don't have confidence to leave them, all in the name of Christ." Okay, this is an extremely myopic view of this situation. I'm sorry, Alexis on Twitter, but this is across multiple regions. This is across South Asia. This is across Buddhist nations, and we see these effects. This is not about Christo-fascist movements in the United States. And here's the thing. Here's something that a lot of atheist activists won't tell you. According to psychological studies, a higher predictor of people leaving religion is the family in which you were raised in. The family that you were raised in being not that religious to begin with. If we're being honest, atheists like to think that they left religion due to their own rational faculties. That's not what the research shows for the majority of people who have left religion. Psychological studies, the ones that are available that I have read, talk about a lot of it being due to our background and also due to some emotional processes. So we can try to make it seem like, I think maybe some atheists reacted to this negatively because they want to think that they're solely responsible for their exit from religion based off of their own intellectualism. And this somehow takes away from that. But that's actually not what we know about why people leave religion to begin with. It's very egocentric.
Okay. Yeah, I want to comment about, we need to move on quicker. So I'm just going to comment quickly on what Alexis is saying. So first of all, it's very Western centric, the way she's looking at the world. Like, she's dismissing, when she says Christo-fascist, she's dismissing the rest of the planet. Also, she doesn't understand that the reason behind trends are multifactorial. When she says, I feel like this is the reason, I mean, this could be one of the reasons, and this could have an effect, that could have an effect. You finding something else doesn't have an effect doesn't mean that this is not also a cause. Different, when you see a trend in society, there are many different things that could be coming together that is causing that trend. Also, how dismissive it's look at how dismissive of research some atheists are being. Like these are the same atheists who sometimes act like they're scientific and they care about data and they care about research, but we have a research here and we have a comment here completely being dismissive of all the work that people have done in this research based on no analysis, no research, no data, based on what she feels like. Very anti-intellectual.
I love how we're like just coming for atheists in this segment. You know what?
Yeah.
We've been coming for everyone else all week, all day. Now we're coming for
Right.
our own group. We're coming for your ass.
Right. So here's the last comment, I think. Oh no,
Uh,
there's more. So this one is saying people are finally getting access to real information, learning critical thinking skills, science, and logic. Yeah, I agree with
But
this
that's
one.
not,
Uh,
again, that's not the mechanism at play according to this research.
Yeah, this is another. Well, I mean, AI is giving people access to maybe not critical thinking skills, but science and science to more scientific data. At least it is giving you access to
But
that.
that's not what the researchers are talking about. They're talking about exposure to automation, not
Yeah, but
increasing critical thinking skills. And the exposure to
I know,
automation is basically brought in as a replacement for things beyond our explanation.
but okay, okay, fine. But I'm talking about a different thing. But
Oh,
automation also includes automation of research. So you don't have to be a research expert to be able to do good research, right? I think at some point we're going to stop even teaching research skills to people because, like, why do you need to learn research skill? Have research skills? AI will do that for you.
as a researcher, sir, how dare you?
Right. I know, but you're talking about a different thing here. But I do think AI is helping with some of these things. I do think there's a danger of us not having less critical thinking skills because their conclusions is already out there for us, right? So that's a danger. But when it comes to access to more scientific science, I think AI will help with that. Seems rather okay. This is another guy saying seems rather unlikely AI could have such an influence given its novelty. What about like what are you talking
AI has
about?
been
Like
around since the 1950s.
oh my god. For more important, I suspect is simply a good education and a greater understanding of the world slash universe we live in, or and revulsion at the persistent abuse of women, children by men in religious positions. Okay, so Donald seems like he's judging this entire thing without clicking on it or reading anything about it or understanding what this
I
is
mean,
about.
this is what
Which,
Twitter is for, though.
yeah,
Let's be honest.
Look, technologies like okay, I'm gonna stop reading stupid comments. These are idiots. Just, I mean, this is good for us to know that atheists could be as uncritical and brainwashed as well as some religious people sometimes. All right,
And
we got a lot
also,
of comments and super chats. We need to read those.
yeah, exactly. Regardless of what people think, it is a really interesting idea. It's something I hadn't considered before. But yeah, let's get into the super chats. Thank you guys for the super chats. Numan saying, you guys both look cute today. Love you all.
No,
Thank you, Numan. I appreciate it. Um, Gasian American gave us a $10 super chat. Thank you, Gasian, saying gods are AI. They are reflections of who we are. Some are larger than others. They are omnipresent and they have records of your deeds. Implants, eye tracking would further their power.
I mean, we literally do have a church of Google because a lot of people's like the closest thing we have to something that has before this AI that got this powerful, people recognized that what people in ancient times described as God, the closest thing we have to that was Google. Now that we have AI, and we're getting closer and closer to what ancient times. I mean, not maybe the God, the all powerful, all knowing, all loving God, but maybe closer to God, what gods were before we had this God with infinite powers. The AI that we're building is very, very close to what people in ancient times described as gods. So true.
Wait, is there
Yeah.
actually a church of Google?
Yes, yes.
I didn't know this.
The
So
Church of Google.
if someone works at Google, are they a priest? How does the
I don't know. Oh my God, we actually now even have the Reformed Church.
We have the Reformed Church of Google. There was a schism. There was a reformation of Google. Googleism. Wait a second. Can
Yeah.
we take a detour to look at this?
Yeah, it says we at the Church of Google believe that the search engine Google is the closest humankind has ever come to directly experiencing an actual God as typically defined. We believe there is much more evidence in favor of Google's divinity than there is for the divinity of other more traditional gods. We reject supernatural gods on the notion they are not scientifically provable. Thus, Googleists believe Google should rightfully be given the title of God, as she exhibits a great many of the characteristics traditionally associated with such deities in scientifically provable manner. We have compiled a list of 9 proofs which definitely prove Google is the closest thing to a god human beings have ever directly experienced. And then there's the proofs. These are the 9
This is
proofs. If you go read.
amazing. This is so cool. Wait, I love this.
Proof Google is
The
God.
foundation is like solid. I love this comment by Imran. Imran has some of the funniest comments. Babe, wake up. New religion lore just dropped.
That's right.
We got distracted. We have a few more super chats. Asian American also said, should AI human hybrids have more than one vote?
No.
If they're representing a single entity, they should get one vote.
Okay, so here's the thing. The entire structure of society is about to change. Okay,
Oh,
we
boy.
don't even know. We don't know if what voting will mean in the near future. Just to be honest, okay. The society has our societies have worked with regards to relationship of three entities, which is the government, businesses, and laborers. Like, and all for the point of consuming. And traditionally, the way I understand is that the workers or laborers are the consumers, and the workers have a relationship with the business. So the entity that is a business has a relationship with the entity that is the worker, and the government is the mediator between these two, trying to create an environment where these two can exchange work for goods and services in a fair and a safe manner, right? But now this entire relationship, because of AI, is being completely challenged in a way that all the work will eventually be done by AI. So the nature of the business and the government has the business with the individuals has to be based on something else than giving work. So because the consuming still needs to happen, but it cannot be in exchange for work. So what will it be in exchange of for? So I think a lot of experts are predicting that it will be in exchange of being a citizen. So instead of being a relationship between businesses and workers with the government in between, it will be an exchange between businesses and citizens. Your citizenship will make you worthy of consuming, rather than your work. And that's what the government will be the same, the businesses will be the same, but the workers' relationship with businesses will be based on their citizenship rather than their work. That's the
Fascinating.
future. Yeah.
Um, our poor Newman. He's saying it's not Newman, it's no man. Newman sounds wrong. You know, I feel so bad because I thought he already
Okay.
previously gave up
I
on
thought
correcting
you
us on
ex-
how to
I
pronounce
thought
his
you gave
name.
up. I
And
thought you
also,
gave
I
up.
thought he told us that the correct way is Newman
I
because
was sure he did. I think he's
I would
trolling us.
normally read this Noman. I wouldn't read how this is spelled Newman if not told otherwise. I'm confused, but he's telling us it's Noman now. I will trust him.
Okay, no. We will switch to no man from now.
And people in the live chat are like
I swear.
congratulating him for
I
being so patient with us.
Okay, I swear a few months from now he's going to troll us again. He's going to cry. He's like, it's Newman, it's not No Man. Why you guys keep calling me Snowman? I think he's going to do that to us in a couple of months. But let's switch to No Man from now. Thank you for the super chat.
It's all love. Gasian American gave us another super chat saying, "Internet is the world's celestial bureaucracy." Gasian American really needs to be a novelist. I think
Okay.
that's where this energy needs to be channeled. He needs to be a novelist. For real. He's extremely creative.
You highlighted another comment. Do you want to read that one?
Oh,
Or do
no.
you know?
No, that's
No?
fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Get rid of that. All right. Can we clap for this next news?
Yes.
Okay. Next news.
Next news, Swedish city in crisis. Quran burning incites mass unrest in Malmo. Riots engulfed Malmo, Sweden's third largest city, following the burning of a Quran by Salwan Momika, a noted anti Islam activist and Iraqi refugee. The upheaval began on September 3rd and carried on into the next day with fiery confrontations in the immigrant dominated Rosengard neighborhood. In the chaos, cars, including those in underground I almost sounded like a British person, garages were set ablaze, and rioters pelted the authorities with stones. Reflecting on the upheaval, senior police officer Petra Stenkula stated, quote, "It is extremely regrettable once again to see violence and vandalism at Rosengard." Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson joined in condemning the riots, deeming the violence completely unacceptable, regardless of its cause. The incident has ignited further discussions around free speech, with the government considering stricter guidelines on protest permits for national security reasons. So, man, the Quran burning is still causing tons of problems in Sweden. It's been really interesting over the past, like, I don't know, like month, 6 weeks now to see how this is still continuing to remain at the top of the news items, top of headlines. And I also thought that this was really significant to cover because this isn't the first time that this has happened in Malmo. I have no idea how to pronounce that correctly, by the way. Apologies to our Swedish listeners. But I remember like 3 years ago when I first joined AR, we talked about a massive riot that happened in Malmo. Um, again, because of Quran desecration. And it stood out to me personally because I remember that being um, one of the first times I felt so fired up and passionate about the issue of Quran desecration. I think when talking about that news item, it might have been the first time I actually desecrated a Quran on the show because of how fired up I got over it. And this stuff is still going on to this day. But Armin, what's your reaction?
Okay, so who's setting the cars on fires and doing the riots exactly? Who's doing this?
Well, this happened in a predominantly immigrant neighborhood. So it would be predominantly Muslim immigrants to Sweden.
Muslim immigrants. Okay. Are people calling this out as evil? I know some people are, but the United Nations, for example, that
No, I
called out the
haven't heard
Quran.
any. I
No.
actually haven't heard
Oh,
anything at
oh,
all. Yeah,
no,
from the UN. No, no,
no,
no, no,
no,
no.
no, 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 nothing. Like, okay. So burning a Quran, they're like, this is an outrage, and this is like there needs to be laws against this, and this is a human rights violation, and all of that's nonsense. But burning cars, however, so Quran pieces of paper that is your property that you have not taken from anyone else, burning that gets you a condemnation from the United Nations. But burning other people's cars,
Yeah, their
that
property.
is their property. Okay, that does not get a okay. I see where the priorities are here. I understand. Okay.
Yeah. And
Right.
here's the thing: when there are people, I believe the incident that I was referring to in Malmo, I believe that happened because of the far right Danish, Swedish, or is he Norwegian? And uh political figure, Ramses Paludan. I believe that happened because of his public desecration of the Quran, and he actually is a full-blown far-right bigot. But he does it because he actually wants to incite this reaction to prove how uncivilized the Muslim immigrants to Sweden are. Right? He does this to get this kind of reaction to prove that he's actually right in his rhetoric.
Right.
And this is a huge problem, obviously, because when Salman Momika, when he was desecrating the Quran in Stockholm in front of the largest mosque in the city, there were tons of Muslims that were there that were just there to peacefully counter protest against him. You know? But what people who are xenophobic or hesitant or feel very unfamiliar about the new people coming to their country and they have stereotypes, all this stuff, they're mostly going to focus on this. They're mostly going to focus on this as a reason to, further anti-immigrant and anti-refugee policies.
Right. Yeah. So, as to your point, no, not Eric, but this is not right. This is Muhammad. Muhammad saying these reactions ultimately just bite their own communities and future migrants right up the backside. Well done, idiots. Exactly. And I want to point out that this is probably going to make the governments want to push for banning Quran burning more to avoid things like this. But that's idiotic because you have rewarded. Let me remind you again. If you ban Quran burning, you're going to see more stuff like this, not less, because you are giving a signal that this works. So you are encouraging it. You are telling people that this is the methodology where you have that you have to use to get us to bend the knee. This is why Quran burning is important. Guys, we don't burn the Quran because we're against Islam. We're against Islam, but that's not why we burn the Quran. We burn the Quran because you don't negotiate with terrorists. Because if people use threats of violence to get you to do something, if you do it, if you give in, if you submit, then you are promoting violence. You are showing the entire world that radicalism works. If you want to see less stuff like this, you have to be like, okay, then we are not going to ban this. This is a country of free expression. We're not going to give in. This is not how we negotiate. Anyways.
I completely agree. And we're going to keep saying it. We're going to keep saying it because it needs to be, What's the quote? It's like the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. And that's what we do here at Atheist Republic, okay? We are here to keep on reminding people and talking about and promoting why these values are so important. It's not just for the betterment of us. It's not just for the betterment of atheists. It's for the betterment of all people. It really is. And if you feel the same way, if this is a value you share, please like the stream and consider supporting Atheist Republic. We are a 501c3 charity, okay, in the United States, and we're nonprofit in Canada. And your support really does help keep the show going. So you can do that by subscribing. We're on the road to 40K. Okay. And you can become a Patreon or donate to us on PayPal.
Imran is saying, man, these streams are criminally underwatched. Yes, guys, you could help us with that. You could tell people about our channel. Okay, there are not that many channels that covers the things that we are in the way that we are. So if you see any value in that, please help us out by telling people that they need to come watch our shows. Okay, do that. That really helps grow the channel if you go recommend us to other people. Okay, so for the next news, you have something to share on your screen.
Yes. Oh yeah. Let me pull it up. Boom, 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 boom. Okay.
It's clappable. It's clappable.
Let me make it bigger.
I know it's clappable, but it's going to ask.
Is it going to load? Wait, why is it
No,
not
no
showing?
man. No man is saying, who am I going to tell about Atheist Republic, Armin? My religious friends? No, you're atheist. You have no man, you have atheist friends. I know you have atheist friends. If you don't have atheist friends, then go make atheist friends and then tell them about us that way. Okay?
Okay.
Ooh.
Wait, should I pull it down? Or we can clap now.
Yes. Next news.
Next news. Okay, guys, we have new Atheist Republic emojis. So, the way that YouTube works is that we need to get more members to unlock the ability to give you guys more emojis. And we recently have 2 new emojis. So, wait, can I zoom in? Yeah. Okay, let's zoom in right here. And so our 2 new emojis are these 2 right here. They're the little Armin and Susie blip. It's like we're blowing little raspberries. Like,
Yes.
wait,
So what are the other ones? Oh. Okay. What
if
are the
you
other
are a
ones?
member, make sure
Yeah.
to
Oh,
drop
people are
your
using it.
emojis. Yeah, I love all the members dropping the emojis in
Oh.
the live chat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't show up on StreamYard.
But yeah, you keep using them.
Yeah, I love
Okay,
all our
wait.
emojis. We have yelling Armin, uwu Armin, okay, whispering Armin, guru Armin, and then we have me eating popcorn for when I have I'm watching you go off. This is my reaction to you, yeah, yelling, okay? So yeah, yelling Armin and Susanna eating popcorn go together. Also, Susanna sweat smile is also for Armin yelling, okay? We also have Uwu Susanna, me licking the Quran as I am famous for, and Saint Susanna. Okay, because we have Guru Armin when he's giving us all life advice, and we have Saint Susie when I am
Emotional.
imploring you guys.
Yeah. Yes.
For whatever.
Yes.
And then of course we have our sexy Kali blowing a raspberry. And then we also now we also have Armin and Susie blowing raspberries. So, but it gets even more exciting than this. Okay, because here's the deal, guys. Right now, we have enough memberships unlocked to add more emojis. But the thing is, we need to make more emojis. So this is where it comes to you. You guys get to decide what our next emojis are going to be. So if you're a member, I want to hear your best ideas for what our next emojis should be. Like, I want to line up a couple because the more members we get, the more emojis we get to unlock. So give us your best emoji ideas. Either comment in the live chat or comment when this video is done. And actually, make sure to comment when the video is done because then it'll be easier to track. And then we are going to make members only posts on our community tab, and we're going to make polls. So members get to vote on what our next emojis are going to be. So you guys get to come up with your favorite ideas, and you get to then vote on which ones we're going to go to our artist and then have them make. And I want to line up a couple really, really good ones. So make sure to, give us your best ideas. Oh, like Darko. I like this idea. He wants an Armin, peace be upon him. Should Mufti Armin.
Mufti Armin, yeah, I like that.
Mufti Armin would be a good one. Mufti Armin would be a good one.
Saint Susanna, and Mufti Armin.
Adam is saying crying Susie. Okay, because I cry all the time on the show. Okay, but that's basically what Saint Susie is already doing. Yes. Saint Susie is already crying. So we got that one covered.
I'm peeing Armin. Okay, but can't show that on. I can't use that as an emoji.
Yeah, we can't use Armin pissing on the Quran as an emoji. We can't do that.
No, because they're saying that because I take a lot of washroom breaks, right? But we could do Armin staying hydrated, because that's the reason why, because I drink a lot of water. So every time I take a break, you could have an emoji of me drinking water, because that's basically the reason. We have Screaming Armin. No man is saying Screaming Armin. Like, it's right there. Look at it's the first one.
Yeah, yelling Armin.
Yeah.
That's actually my favorite
Yeah.
one. Oh wait, I zoomed in too much. Yeah, right
Yeah, it's
here.
right there.
Maybe yelling Susanna, because I actually do get fired up.
Yes, you are.
It does happen on occasion. I do go off.
Right.
Angel Susie and
So
Demon Armin. I feel like Angel Susie would be very close to Saint Susie, but we could do Demon Armin.
Demon. Oh, I like it. Demon Armin. Yeah, I like that. All right,
Yeah.
let us know. Let us know when.
Oh, actually, Shika's right. We should have some for Elliot. We need some for Secular Rarity.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes,
Ooh,
yes, yes.
okay. What would be some good Secular Rarity? I feel like I was gonna. Okay, but we need. The only problem is that me and Elliot in emoji form might look too similar.
No, we will give him some. We will give him some stubble.
Okay, yeah.
Stubble.
Elliot with facial hair. Yeah, not clean shaven. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's see. What are some other good ideas we have here? We have Armin drinking Zamzam water. They want cat Susie and dog Armin. I don't know how I feel about being the cat. I'm a little bit anti-cat.
I think that guy is a furry. I think I spot a furry.
Exposed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So guys, make sure to leave us your best ideas, and we're going to collect the ones that we like the most, and then members only get to vote on the next emojis. So I'm really excited about this. If you guys want access to our emojis and all of our Discord, our membership perks, make sure to join. Link is in the description. And actually, speaking of, we just got a new member right now. Animation just became a YouTube member. Thank you for becoming an official supporter. Not only are you a member of the AR Army because you're subscribed, but now you're an official supporter. Thank you for your service, sir. Welcome to Satan's Minions.
Oh yeah, you could help. Yeah, maybe you could contact if you want to help us make emojis. Then there's a link for volunteering in the description, so you could contact us there. Yeah.
We need what we do need is we need to make personalized loyalty badges for all the different levels of members.
Oh yes. These
and
colored
I've
ones
always,
up here.
yeah, exactly. Instead of being stars, we can personalize this. And so I'm also looking for ideas about what kind of theme we should have for our loyalty badges.
I think it should be like a lion or a horse growing up, or a demon. Oh no! It should
we
be
talked
a
about this before.
demon.
You wanted it to be a demon slowly becoming bigger. Or like
a demon egg,
evolving.
a demon babe, a demon egg, a demon baby, a demon child, a demon teenager, a demon adult, and then constantly getting older and older.
Yeah,
and then older. Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, until it's like full warrior demon.
Full warrior demon. Yes.
Mojo,
and it should be asexual. Like it should be a demon that could pass as a girl or a boy. It should be
androgynous.
Yes, like you could tell. You can't tell if the demon is a girl or boy or either.
Because we're furthering the satanic gender abolition agenda. Is that it?
No, but no.
We're against God's design as He intended. Okay, man and a woman. Okay.
Well, mostly because I want if it's so people could relate to it regardless of.
No, I know. I'm kidding. Yeah. I see what you're doing there, sir. You want it to be a gender because you're against God's perfect design. Like the demonic spawn of Satan you want.
By the way, guys, and guys, if you speak Persian, within 50 minutes, I'm going live on the Persian channel. So, Cumhuriyet Bi Khodayan, which is Atheist Republic's Persian channel, I'm going live there in 50 minutes. So,
Ooh, fun.
yeah,
What are you going to talk about on the show today?
the secrets to a happy life. On the Persian channel, a lot of people are enjoying my life advice streams. So I
Guru
do.
Armin. Guru
Yeah, I do a lot
Armin.
of politics, politics, religion related, and philosophy related, history related. But now we're also going into, the philosophy of life and happiness and all that. We're doing some streams like that as well. I mean, because a lot of people in Iran are looking for alternative ways. They're coming out of Islam and they're looking for alternative ways to find meaning and happiness in life. So we are like doing streams on that. So on the Persian channel. So
I love it. I love it.
yeah, yeah.
And two quick comments I wanted to highlight. Mojo is saying, does this channel make people angry? I think so. I mean, we got taken to the Supreme Court of India. So yeah.
Yeah.
We got banned in India.
We got in Malaysia, they started chasing us down, our members down in Malaysia by the government. I had my first call out for beheading in Malaysia. So there's that. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. So I would say that we make people angry because they say I wanted to draw Armin and Suzanne like I did for Hara Sultan and Nuria Khan. But I feel like this channel is too heavy. Hey, I would love a drawing of us.
Yes.
You want to make a drawing for us? Feel free to submit it. That would be adorable. I love it. You can send it to my email, which is Susanna at atheistrepublic.com.
Okay. Black Angel is saying Armin is trying to be the Persian Undertaker. Okay,
what?
Listen. I'm not. What the advice I'm giving is based on science, is based on stoicism, is based on modern. We cover really good sources, like legitimate sources, and we are critical. We question ourselves even when we're studying something. We're like, is this true? This seems like contradictory to what we said before. We're very skeptical. We don't speak with with certainty. We try to back up the things that we're saying with with scientific sources and with critical thinking. So if I do give life advice, it's not going to be even at all close to Undertale. I know, and Black Angel, I know you're joking, but I just wanted to use your comment as an opportunity to promote what we're doing in the Persian
That's
channel.
not even the primary accusation you need to address. You're not promoting blatant misogyny. That's the biggest one.
I know this is not an accusation. This is a joke, but it's a good opportunity for me to just highlight how amazing our live stream is, bragging about how amazing our live streams are.
I love how everyone in the live chat reacted so strongly to that joke. Everyone was like, what? How dare you? And the other thing I thought that was funny, Imran is saying, still reeling over Susanna being an anti-cat bigot. Okay, here's the thing. When I recently learned what cats do to you after you die, within an hour of you dying, I'm scared. I'm not a bigot. Okay. I'm scared.
I mean, they're just being resourceful. It's not like you're alive.
But they start destroying your carcass like immediately.
But they don't do that when you're alive because they recognize you're alive. So that's good. They're just like, okay, I'm just going to make the best out of a bad situation here. It's not like they understand the difference between a dead person and a live person. Like, I know my owner is not going to feel this anymore, and I'm hungry. So it's fine.
I'm scared.
Okay.
I don't want cats to eat my chest cavity. That's all I'm saying.
I would be on if I have dogs, but if I had cats, if I died, I would be happy if I was providing some pleasure, because I'm dead already. I'm not going to feel it. So go at it.
Sustenance to your baby girls.
Yes, yeah, of course. Go at it. Just enjoy your time, my baby.
Baba loves you still.
Baba still loves you, even though you're eating my insides. Baba still loves you, even after death.
Okay. Anyways, I had such a fun time on the show today. Thank you, everyone that joined. Thank you for making our community what it is. Make sure to like if you came here this far. We are on the road to 40K. Like every week, we get so much closer to 40K. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and join the AR Army. Okay. We are building a global secular movement here that appreciates compassion and rationality. So make sure to stay tuned. We do this every week, and I have fun doing it. I don't know about you, Armin. I think the people that come here do too.
Yes, and if you do, if that's true, then like the goddamn video. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why have you not liked the video? Wait, hold on. Let me do this properly. What? Let me wait. Yes. Why? Explain to me. Leave a comment. If you watch 2 hours and 40 minutes of this show, you have to tell me. I want to understand. Why would you go? It takes 1 second. It doesn't require any energy. It helps our channel. It doesn't cost you any money. So just like it. Seriously, I don't understand. If you're not liking it, then leave a comment so I could understand the mentality behind not leaving a like on this show. Was that too harsh, Susie?
Oh my God. No, I'm kidding. That was great.
Thank you. By the way, that's a trick, because if you leave a comment explaining to me why you didn't like, that actually helps more than a like.
Well, now you just explained it, so they're not going to do it.
God damn it.
Shot yourself in the foot again.
Okay. Newman just gave us a super chat. It's for you, Susie. You want to read that?
Thank you, Noman. Or no, Noman. Shoot, I'm gonna.
Noman. Oh, yes.
Susie, my fursona is a cat. No anti-cat bigotry. Okay, as long as your fursona will not eat my flesh when I die, then we're fine. But no, man, yes. I don't think you would do that to me.
You don't know. Don't be so sure. All right, guys. Thank you for everybody for who supported us with super chats, with whoever supported us with membership, whoever left a like, whoever left a comment, whoever is sharing our streams with other people. We are very grateful, and all the people who spend time here with us. I know I'm shaming you for not liking, but thank you for giving us watch time as well. So thank you for that. All right, guys. Till next week. We'll see you then. We didn't have a show with Secular Rarity this week, but we will probably have one next week. Secular Rarity was busy with something, but yes, we will. So I'll see you with Secular Rarity next, but me and Susanna will have a show again on the news, same time next week. So tune in for that. Make sure you hit the bell notification, because that's the only way YouTube will tell you that we're live. The subscribe is not enough. You have to hit the bell notification. All right, guys. Till then, bye. Mwah.